Welcome, welcome, world leaders. Welcome, world leaders. Welcome, welcome, people of the world.
Is responsible for strengthening the foundation of our society and has a prime responsibility to bring out what has happened and still happening in our country under Chinese rule.
Before I perform, 아니, 너희들이 도와주기로 뉴욕과 뉴욕 동네 중지 좀 할수 있는가? 이 캠벨러 연인 미스 시절에 상태로 다 있는 거야. 굉장히 다르다는 걸 알아야 돼. 너무 맞들이야.
경제도 거저 딱히 경제도 되네. 그래서는 이 강라 다리면서 남샤이 견디는 된다지를 정말 내가 도대로와 내가 도대로가는 내가 갈래가 아니 그거가 아무든지 전도 근데 요마도 난도 근데 내 랍도 말아도 인도 사람에 들어와 오늘 전화도 다른 데를 용 보고요 봐 얘는 근데 내당 사법도 내당 라지에 근데 난도 삼기도 와
directly cause untimely death of well over 1 million people of Tibet, therefore, including as well as many unbased Chinese intellectuals within the People's Republic of China across the world, but particularly to the government and people of India for their continued help and support for the issue of Tibet. And finally, the Tibetan Parliament in exile frequently offers prayers that the His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the common treasure of the Tibetan people, may live for hundreds.
China did this in Tibet 70 years ago, but hardly anybody cared. Instead, the international community catered to the CCP and subsequent dictators.
정원이 도시야.
Because we know and feel the loss of one's country, loss of family, loved ones to war and suppression, and we have experienced the life of refugee. Today, more than ever, we need to heed to the appeal of His Holiness the Dalai Lama when he reminds us that the last century was a century of war and unimaginable human suffering.
가거스소. 가거스소. 네?
Shame on Chinese government! Shame on Chinese government! Shame on Chinese government!
longe, permiso. Free Tibet, China out.
China lies, people die.
China lies.
People die. Boycott made in China.
Boycott made in China.
Coronavirus made in China.
Coronavirus made in China.
Coronavirus made in China.
Coronavirus made in China.
China lies, people die.
China lies, people die.
Coronavirus made in China.
Coronavirus made in China.
China lies, people die.
China lies, people die. Shame on China.
China, China, I go try.
조규 잠재경 남규가 와야 의바굴라레 인도네시아다게 벨조주가 숨기 켈라디기조데사 레갸
Tangent Kudiche. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm Tom Swazi. I'm a United States Congressman. I'm here today to say that I stand with you. I stand with you against the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah!
It is well documented that the Chinese Communist Party is abusing the Tibetan Buddhists for many, many, many years. Here in the United States, ever since the 1970s, when President Nixon went to China, we all thought that the more the Chinese Communist Party was exposed to the ways of the Western world, we thought they would become more like us, that they'd have respect for democracy, that they would participate in the modern economic system. We now know that's not true. We see the abuse of so many people. The Tibetans, for such a long time, have been subjected to so much torture and abuse, forcing people to try and conform their language, their religion, trying to force them to be the same as the Chinese Communist Party. We see it now with the Uyghurs. We see it in Hong Kong. We see it with the Mongolians. We see it with the threatening of Taiwan. The Chinese Communist Party cannot be trusted to treat human beings like human beings.
Yes.
The thing that we share in common as human beings is we all have a divine spark. That's where the basis of freedom and democracy comes from. When we look at the Ukrainian people fighting the Russians right now, what are they fighting for? They're fighting for freedom and democracy. Here in the United States, that's politics. Now people say, I don't like politics. Politics is no good. But the only way to change the world is by having people like you standing together, making your voices heard, educating the world about the abuses of the Chinese Communist Party on the Tibetan Buddhists. I will do everything I can to continue to try and educate the American people and the world community to try and free Tibet. Kudiche, keep on fighting, everybody. Keep on fighting.
Thank you.
Pagalo!
Pagalo!
Pagalo! Pagalo!
there will come a day when the people of China, Mongolia, East Turkestan, Tibet will hold them accountable, when they will use their right to self-determination to decide their own fate. For Tibetans and those not oppressed.